I'm Robbie Gallagher, an actor from Ireland. I encountered Larry Enright some time ago when he cast me in a TV series he was about to shoot. Larry is a unique character, and those of you that know him will appreciate that. Larry and I get on quite well together, and during one of our many conversations we spoke about a forthcoming feature film that was co-written by himself and his partner Zoe. He asked me if I'd like to portray a particular character in it for him. Well, I read the script and I had to think about it. But it was a challenge, and I told him I would do it. But having read Larry's autobiography, I realized that Larry's life journey would have stopped many a lesser man in his tracks. And this was something that was essentially true.
Sit down! Over there! I say, sit down! Over there! I said, sit down! You tell. I'll fucking kill you.
There are many roads we travel when we are young. These travels mold us into who we become as adults. Sometimes the journey brings us to places of happiness, joy, learning, and adventure. Sometimes it leads us to places we never imagined we would have to visit. Our life becomes a collection of our experiences, what we learn, absorb from our surroundings, what visually moves us, and what imprints in our minds. For the most part, looking at the quaint village of Garvin, you would see children playing and neighbors talking amongst themselves. Passing by the stores, you would look in to see the smiles of the customers as they were greeted by the store owners. And the pub, oh yes, the pub, the Thatch, was a place for all to gather, young and old, share stories, share a laugh, sing a song, or just be amongst those trusted and loved from the village. Everyone got along. Everyone felt safe. And to the eye, everyone looked safe, at home, comfortable, just enjoying life in the village. But there was something, a slight feeling of uneasiness, a feeling that there was more lurking in the village than what was seen. You see, illusions in life exist. Our eyes see what is put before us. Our minds process what we see based on what we believe to be right, sometimes not allowing us to ever see what has been disguised as the truth. Well, in this village there was something hidden from the fine folks of the community, but oddly enough, not out of sight. There was a man. Yes, an elder of the village, seen daily by passers-by. He would touch upon quite a few young lives, and create such an empty place in the soul of many, but one would become restless, unable to leave the illusion alone. One would tell the truth. Struggling from the pangs of guilt, a sexually abused child, believing he had done something wrong, would feel the angst of his pain while trying to let the light back into his soul, knowing others face the same battle. Larry Enright, author, was that child, now a grown man, but still struggling with his past. But this wasn't to be the only hurdle this man, born in the village of Garvin, would face. Now a successful Irish entertainer living in the States, a tragedy hit. He suffered the rupture of an undetected frontal lobe brain aneurysm, bringing him to the brink of death and then letting him return. Coming back, he needed to learn most things we take for granted, all over again. Once again, he was left to struggle with feelings of failure, now adding inadequacy. Not able to do what he used to do, not able to express his anger and frustration to anyone, only to hide from himself and his secrets. When people looked at him, they would see his smile, hear his jokes, see him laugh. But in reality, things were very different under the surface. And so the story unfolds, and the madman from Garvin books were born. You see, we all face crossroads during our lives, and we are given choices. But for Larry, the crossroads held only one way to go. All other paths were blocked, and there was no turning back. He walked forward at the crossroads of his life, looked up and saw a street sign. If you told. With the stillness around him, not knowing how far he would have to travel. Not even knowing if he would make it to the end of the road. He took the first step. Felt the ground a bit unsteady, but then took the next step. Only to find with each step his heart would lighten and his soul would slowly heal. He would begin to understand and see things differently, not fooling himself into believing he could hide, but realizing he would have to bear witness to what had happened in order to help others heal. A different type of laughter would aid him on his journey. True love would still elude him, but he would press on. And if you told, well, that has become the movie about his amazing journey. A journey for all to travel, for healing, understanding, and just knowing that we are never the only ones when things happen.
Starting at a young age, Larry faced an adversary, one that no child should ever have to face. Larry came from a large Catholic family, a family of 21, where only 12 survived. It was a family filled with laughter, home-cooked meals and prayer. Of course, Larry acted up, but he had two parents who loved him, parents who thought his behaviour was nothing more than a boy, being a boy. They never knew the challenge he had faced at that young age. Nor would Larry ever let anyone know until decades later. Larry fought with himself and his demons and the guilt that he felt inside as a child. He wanted to be brave. He was always trying to hide the shame he felt inside as a child, so much so that he joined the Irish Army to show that he could fight for what was right and just. Over the course of 18 months, Larry spent 3 military tours in the Middle East with the UN peacekeeping force. Larry was able to obtain some actual footage of the war.
including actual footage of the bombing of the United States Embassy. Images that flash before you need no words to describe them, nor the effect they have on the emotions of all the soldiers and civilians involved. One of life's strange ironies happened to Larry during that period in the Middle East. Unknown to Larry, at the very same time, a United States Marine was also serving in the Lebanon, going through the same horrors and mental anguish, endeavouring to keep the peace there too. Returning to the States, and apart from his day job, he became an actor. That man was Corporal Jeffrey Graham, 2nd Battalion, 8th Marines. He's better known to you as Gunther Grambo.
You know, you don't go through an experience like the Lebanese War, even if you're supposedly a peacekeeper, non-combatant. You know, being put in the middle of that whole mess was tough. And I know that both Larry and I carry our, you know, our own personal scars from that experience. And that's one of the big motivators for Larry to make his movie, you know, his autobiography, is to share the story of how one can triumph through and after adversity. If ever there was a survivor that I've known, it's Larry Enright. He's been through a lot. He's a tough guy. Something of a madman genius. And that's why it's my pleasure to work with him. So, yeah, I look forward to doing more. All right.
Gunther became a part of Larry's group of actors, and is part of this documentary. Neither man was aware that they had been in the Lebanon at the same time. Real life can often be stranger than fiction. Larry was away from his family in a war-torn Lebanon. He saw many deaths. Deaths of friends, of acquaintances, and deaths of many innocent civilians, children included. This fighting and destruction can change a man, and can have long-lasting effects on all involved, both mentally and physically.
May the peace of the Lord be with each and every one of you.
Larry didn't always pick his fights or seek confrontation. It was just, there was no escape from them. Little did Larry know that the greatest fight of his life lay just ahead of him.
Larry, what? You gonna let him get away with it?
Oh, what? Larry, no, no.
Larry,
Go.
yeah, man up.
Go.
You don't.
Stay in your seat. Ignore him. Let it go. Sit down.
You better hit him in the face.
Larry.
Hit him! Hit him in the face! Hit that dick! You think you are, bitch!
You know who the fuck I am? Who the fuck you are?
Fucking Larry, I'm like, don't fuck with me.
hon, you got any more coffee up there?
Yes, please. Food and fresh pot.
You know what, honey?
What, babe?
I've been noticing you've been sticking very close to my ass all the morning. Get any closer? There's going to be a serious accident.
Maybe I like looking at your ass.
Yeah, right. I love you.
Larry?
On November 17th, 2003, I had a multi-layered frontal lobe aneurysm burst inside my head. I fell to the ground. My heart had stopped. I had no vital signs. I remember floating in the air, and I came up behind Zoe and I tapped her on the shoulder to tell her I was okay, I was peaceful, and I didn't want to come back. But then an old man approached me and he pushed me. It was like going through a brick wall. My heart started beating again. That man was my grandfather, who was dead before I was born. Thank you, Granddad. Thank you.
After Larry was brought to the hospital via ambulance, we found out that the staff was not able to operate on Larry to save his life. I, Zoe, was told to say goodbye. If it wasn't for one bright, young doctor in the ER who was alert enough to figure out the consequences, Larry would not have been medevaced into Boston to Mass General Hospital. Mass General had an unbelievably great staff on hand, quite capable of handling this kind of aneurysm. Thank the Lord for that smart doctor in the ER.
9.5 hours of brain surgery, Larry awoke, barely able to see, walk, or communicate. He had to learn everything all over again. A week into his third week stay in the ICU, the doctors found that he was unable to maintain his own brain pressure, so a shunt was implanted into his head to keep him alive. Larry won that battle. The fight was not over yet. Now it looked like he was going to lose both legs, so aneurysms and blockages. His heart gave him a scare as well. Zoe had to be trained in wound care because Larry was now prone to infection. It was going to be a long, uphill battle for Zoe and Larry, their family, and all his friends and those that loved him. With his family by his side, Larry went through over 9 surgeries to save his legs. It has left him weak and tired, but not without his sense of humour. A toll had been taken on all, but everyone's faith was never shaken. The surgeon, Dr. Michael Miner, was nothing less than a miracle worker. He did what no other surgeon had been able to do.
Larry's many fights made it evident that he was battling a demon a demon that only he could understand. Many decades later, Larry revealed that he'd been sexually abused as a child by an elder in his village. His fighting now made sense. He was tough because he had to develop a strong exterior. What Larry didn't realize is that he was stronger than he knew. He was a survivor, a true survivor. Today, Larry still feels those pangs of angst, but he's learned to manage his feelings.
No one knows what the future will bring. Larry Enright is an inspiration. Nothing has stopped him. Though he still struggles with his health, he continues on with great love, courage, and generosity. The making of this documentary is a testament to one man, the courage and inspiration. That man is Larry Enright, affectionately known as the Madman from Atgarve. Dale Carnegie once said, "Most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who kept on trying when there was no hope at all." How true.
I'm a certified prosthetist orthotist here at FDR Center, and what we do here is we make arms and legs for amputees like Mr. Enright, who you just saw walking. The prostheses that we make are functional, and we try to make them perfect for each person. So everybody has different needs, and we try to meet those needs and goals of each of our patients. Today, we are adjusting Mr. Enright's prosthesis. He feels like it's very heavy, it's not fitting him quite perfectly, and he's getting some impingement in the back of his knee. So we're going to do some adjustments to make it feel more comfortable. It comes apart with a boa closure, which is really fun. And then this inner liner, we can put some pads in it, inside the liner. So let's do that. So I'm going to grab some foam. Let's see what we got. There's two. So they'll sit right here, like this, on the sides of the socket, just like that. And they look thin, but that's often enough, or even more than enough, material addition to really make a difference in how the socket fits. So I think this is going to work really well. So I'm going to take them into the other room and grind them down so they don't have these sharp edges to them. So I'm going to go do that right now. I'm going to grind the back of this one too. So I'll be right back. Goes through here, and it doesn't like to stick. What I'll do is just put a little bit of Velcro in there to hold it in place. Alright. I think our glue is dry. Pretty good. See those pads in there? Smell that beautiful glue smell. So good. So now when we put this back in here, those pads will take up just a little bit of space inside the prosthesis and make it a tighter fit. Now, ready for Velcro. All right, I think it's time to try it on again. It's the type they use on ski boot bindings and some sneakers, but there's a great application for prosthetics. So if you have a limb that's a little bit bigger on the bottom than the top, let's try it. I'm guessing since we switched out your shoes, that the prosthesis is not going to be the right height, and we're going to find out. So the prosthesis looks a little tall right now. So I'm going to have you stand up. There you go. Good. So just both your feet kind of shoulder width apart. So like this. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. And try to put kind of equal weight on both your feet if you can. There you go. You can hold on. You can totally hold on to the parallel bars. There you go. So I want this knee straight. Okay. And it looks like the prosthesis needs a little adjusting. So it's too flexed right now. So I'm going to extend it a little bit. And I'm thinking, I'm going to try putting this under this foot here. So you think you can pick that foot up without putting...
Just one foot?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like
Okay, perfect. And step on down.
Hi, my name is Stuart Ferruccio. I'm a certified prosthetist, and we've just fit Mr. Enright with his below-knee prosthesis called transtibial prosthesis. It's adjustable from the back, so hopefully it will shape his leg while he's wearing the prosthesis so that he can fit his definitive much better. Put your weight on the leg and then step through. Hands, prosthesis, and walk through. Hands, prosthesis, and walk through. That's how you do it. And there you go. I can tell you're using more of the leg because you're bending it at the right time. You must be feeling a little bit the first time.
Oh yeah.
Oh good.
So it's sore now.
Yeah, yeah.
A little bit.
So you got 6 of those socks. I got 5 more over there. So you feel free to wear winter. Feel free to use them, wash them as you need to.
Ready for my play. Do I go on down here or this way? Okay, sit down here. Oh, no.
Go down there.
Okay, great.
All right.
Thank you.
Good luck.